Hey, did you know those plants that make cursed hot dogs are edible? Well, they are, and today I'm going to show you how I cook with them. Let's do it! These are cattails. They are native to North America, and it's still pretty early in the season here, so these guys don't have cursed hot dogs yet, and we're just going to be cooking the tender shoots down at the bottom. First, remove the outer leaves because they are too tough, and then cut around where it starts turning green. While I'm peeling the rough leaves off, just a reminder to only gather from clean water. And when you're gathering, make sure the stems are round like this, not flat, because then those are irises and that's bad. Now I'm making fritters with these guys, so I'm going to chop them. Is that how transitions work? I'm gonna saute them in vegan butter with some wild onion. That is the sound of a yum! I added breadcrumbs and just egg to the mix. Ta-da! Hey, want to see what a black forager eats for breakfast when the world is a little too much to handle? You should stay because part of the answer is hot bread. For starters, I'm going to saute some of these greenbrier shoots I collected in the forest this weekend with some baby bok choy from my garden and a little bit of olive oil with a pinch of salt. Gotta make sure you're getting your greens when you're taking care of yourself. Okay, this isn't going into the meal, but can we marvel at how beautiful this foraged Dame's Rocket vinegar is? Ah, it's like a jewel! And I'm making a pan bread because hot bread is my favorite comfort food. It has this dried, fermented, powdered garlic mustard. My friend Blair calls it funk dust. And the salted, dried ramp leaves. It's how I gather very little but make it last throughout the year because we gotta take care of our ramps. Add a little olive oil and water. Pan breads are so hard to mess up, but they're so tasty. Ta-da! I love hot bread! Do you know that there's a delicious fruit that is hiding in most neighborhoods' landscaping and a whole lot of parks? Meet the Juneberry, or Saskatoon berry, or service berry. Some people just call it service. It has a million names, but it is delicious. Popular because they're one of the first trees to flower in the spring. They're ready with fruit by, as their name indicates, the month of June. The berries taste like a mix of blueberries and apple, which sounds weird, but it's really good. Let's make a pie with them, but tiny. I am legally required to tell you that I'm not in a park right now, but I also want to make sure that you know that foraging laws were created to prohibit Black and Indigenous people from gathering free food, so here we have 1.5 cups of service berries put into a hot pan. Add 1/2 cup of sugar. And now we're jamming, because it's jam. Then add a little lemon juice and cinnamon. How did I con myself into making pastry dough again? Ta-da! All right. Ah. Plant look-alike time, we're talking about plants that look like each other. I have 2 plants before me, both the same age, both looking similar, but they are not the same. One is the beautiful but confused pawpaw that produces tropical fruits in the middle of the forests of the Midwest. The other is spice bush, whose leaves, twigs, and berries are a delectable spice that can be used both sweet and savory. But can you tell who is who? Let's see if you know your wild plants. But know that I'll still love you regardless. This is spice bush, and honestly, you can tell by smell. It's going to smell like allspice and cinnamon and peppercorns. Also, the leaves are going to be more green-yellow than that of pawpaws, and they grow anywhere around the circumference of the stem as opposed to just on either side. When pawpaws grow up, they get fruit like this. When spice bush grows up, it gets fruit like this. And when they're adults, it's easy because pawpaws are big and spice bushes stay pretty close to the ground. Great question. Am I hungry for dumplings? Yes. Do I want to go to the grocery store to get stuff for dumplings? No. Am I gonna go foraging for the things I need to fill some dumplings? Who told you? I'm an idiot. Let's go. I'm gonna start the dumpling wrappers first. It's all-purpose flour, semolina flour, and some salted dehydrated garlic mustard I gathered last week. Then add enough warm water that it forms a smooth kind of dough. I'm gonna let it rest while I go forage. Today I think I'm gonna harvest from my new plot in the community garden, which is obviously in need of some weeding. Let's take some yellow rocket. Looks like I have a visitor. Hello! I'm also gonna take some of this dead nettle. And to round things out, I think I'm gonna take some of these wild chives. And some red bud flowers to add some citrusy notes. Into the food processor with some added friends. Blend everything and then put them inside cute little pockets made out of your dumpling dough. Time to steam. Wait a couple minutes. Out of the steamer into oil and spices. Ta-da! Ta-da! Hey, want to learn how to make mugwort tea? I hope so, because that's what we're doing. Now this mugwort is Sweet Baby Artemisia vulgaris. I already washed it when I brought it home, so now we're going to separate the leaves from the stems. Now, in order to make sure that your tea is the best it can be, harvest like the top 3 layers of leaves from the mugwort and harvest it before it starts flowering. Now take your leaves and put them into a steamer basket and steam for 2 minutes. Now remove the leaves and let them cool. Okay, now you are going to take your cooled down leaves, you're going to press them between your hands, give them a couple smacks, a little bit of a gentle roll, and then you're going to put them into a clean pan. Put the pan on the lowest heat setting and move the leaves around with your hands to help the water cook off. Almost done. Once it's thoroughly dry, you're going to let it rest for a couple hours and then give it one final roast at medium-high heat. Add hot water and you've got mugwort green tea. Hi, wow, what is my hair doing today? If you promise not to talk about what 90-degree heat does to my hair, I will teach you how to cook a weed that is probably growing in your city. This is a big old stand of burdock. And 2 weeks ago, when I found this, I was like, I'm going to be able to collect so much. But I waited too long, and some of these are already going to flower. So you know how many of all of these I get to gather to show you? Just this one. You win again, Mother Nature. Let's trim this stem and get out of here before youth sees me and puts my hair on their TikTok. You'll know you've caught it early enough when the pith at the center and the outer layer of the stalk are 2 completely different layers and 2 completely different colors. Oh guys, look at the baby burdock. Next year they'll be as big as those other guys. I found some more burdock that I'm now about to peel. Also, it's tomorrow now. Peel off the tough, fibrous, dark outside to leave the tender center. White wine sauce. Ta-da! Not pretty, but good. A quick look at some of the edible and useful plants we saw on our walk today. Black raspberries, bee balm, pawpaws. Oh my god, look at that bunch of 5. This tree's doing great. Black walnuts, spice bush, complete with immature spice bush berries. Autumn olive, it doesn't have its berries yet, but oh my gosh, look at the metallic undersides of the leaves. Wild roses, gooseberries, look at those spiky boys. Wild ginger, yarrow, echinacea, otherwise known as purple coneflower, curly dock, I use those seeds to make gluten-free flour, milkweed, queen of my heart, wild grapes, complete with baby wild grapes, and Queen Anne's lace with her hairy stems and her purple center flower. Oh, hello there. Want to learn some edible plants in your neighborhood so you'll never have to go to the grocery store again? Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but this will definitely help you go a bit longer between grocery trips. This is amaranth, an American pseudograin that you can use to make flour or pop like popcorn. This is common milkweed, aka the love of my life. I use the flowers to make a cordial. It's gorgeous and tastes like a good dream that you forgot but then remembered. You can also eat the immature seed pods that look like this. This is Queen Anne's lace, aka Docus carota, aka carrots. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. If you dig the root up in the fall, it's a carrot. But during the summer, I take these flower heads, I dip them in batter, dip them into the fryer, and then you have a little snack that's already on a stick. You can also use the seeds as a spice, but that's your business. This guy with the adorable little flowers is quickweed, and I use him as a pasta herb. Free food. A little afraid of going to the grocery store right now. That's okay. I'm gonna show you some things that are growing in your neighborhood that you can eat. Let's go. This is garlic mustard. It's super invasive, but it's also super good for you. Dandelion flowers. I think they're pretty tasty by themselves, but you can also dip them in batter and fry them, and I hear they're amazing. Violets. The whole plant is super edible, but the flowers are slightly sweet and make a really tasty syrup that changes colors when you add lemon juice to it. Here is an obligatory video of the violet syrup changing colors with lemon juice. It goes from clear to pink. Science rules. Hey, let's learn about some danger plants. This guy right here is black nightshade, eastern black nightshade, and it's a part of the Solanum nigrum complex. It gets its name from these black berries it produces. And let me tell you folks at home, these black berries, they're edible. I tricked you.
Oh my God, why would you eat a nightshade berry?
Well, because much like their cousins, tomatoes and eggplants, black nightshade berries, when they're ripe, are actually safe to eat. But I'm going to show you the nightshade that is not. Let's run. We're running, we're running, we're running. This is bittersweet nightshade, and while its purple flowers are very pretty and its red berries look very inviting, it is actually the nightshade that will make you very sick. Notice it grows in a vine, not in a shrub habit like eastern black nightshade. Another plant you see getting confused for black nightshade is a belladonna or deadly nightshade, which in my opinion looks way more sinister than these guys that literally wear star hats. They look like they're from a video game.